Now this probably looks familiar, and that's because it is. I decided to film this video about the importance of spontaneity right after my video filming of the importance of planning and organization, because it's all about finding that balance between the two. And I guess I should have said that in the last video, but now you know. Now, being spontaneous is really important because I find that if you're spontaneous, you'll realize the opportunities that you would have missed out on if you hadn't said yes or hadn't just given it a little bit of a chance. And I think it's good to keep a bit of common sense and put a little bit of thought into what you do before you do it, but sometimes that isn't needed. And I would be careful with when you're spontaneous, but when it feels right, it's great to do. And you know, some of the most beautiful things on earth and in our world are natural occurrences by chance. You know, a great example could be any sports game ever played. There are times, you know, where the team that won, what they did wasn't completely planned, and they might act like it was, but not everything was in their own control. But sometimes just doing something because you know it might work can make a big change to the result of the final product. I honestly can't think of any examples, but if you think of a boxing match, I don't know a whole lot about boxing, but I've been doing some recently, and I know that there's probably times within the fight where you don't know exactly what you should do other than try to win. And being spontaneous with what you do might be the reason that you win in the end. You know, if you act or if you become unpredictable for your opponent, they won't see a punch coming and they might get knocked out or something like that. And that's just one example. And it's not about knocking people out. It's about making something great. Some of the greatest, well, all of the greatest solos, actually I honestly don't know. I know that some people in music practice their solos, but some live recordings and performances will have the greatest solos ever, and they weren't planned, but they happened. If you want, I can link so many songs where these solos are what make the song. They're the reason that I listen to the whole thing, even if it's, you know, 10 or 15 minutes long. It's because the improvisation makes something so great and completes the whole package. And maybe without that improvisation, the song wouldn't mean as much to me. I guess I have a lot of respect and excitement about things that are made on the spot, because it's an impressive thing to be able to create something from nothing. And sometimes, you know, especially with music or art in general, it can be a collection of all your skills put in a unique way at a unique time. Like when someone's playing the drums and doing a drum solo, they're bringing together all these rudiments and practice and skills that they've acquired over years of learning and putting it together into something unique. But it's only so good because they've got this base of greatness to build off of. You know, this great skill that they have. Maybe at the end of this video, I'll put in one of my favorite solos that gives me goosebumps every time I watch it. And it's by a band I'm gonna see soon called Snarky Puppy. And my brother hates the band, but I love it. It's exactly the kind of music that I didn't even know I liked until I started listening to it. And that's another beautiful thing. I was like, hey, let's give this a listen, and it turns out to be my favorite band ever. It's just so great, for me. But yeah. Sometimes it's good to just take a chance and try something new, you know, be spontaneous. But it's also important to know when to say no and when to say yes, and we learn as we grow up when those times are right, and I've never known exactly when, but I'm sure I'll know at some point. I just don't think it's good to restrict yourself to doing the same old thing all the time in life. be spontaneous.